Hi, I'm Rina. I'm the founder of Culthread, and I'm also actually doing a DBA, a doctorate in business administration, at the University of Warwick, at Warwick Business School. I'm also the managing director of Textile International, and I help run Textile, which is a company that's a family-owned business in outerwear. What I want to talk to you about was two things mainly today. First is a little bit about my brand, Culthread. This is one of my jackets that I make. It's a sustainable outerwear brand for the modern woman, vegan. And when I say sustainable, what I mean is that we try to use as many materials as we can that are dead stock and mostly recycled materials, in fact. I decided to found Culthread a couple of years ago because having had such a sort of varied background, I've had a lot of different careers. When I was a teenager, I was a tennis player. I played on the Pro Tour before quitting one day, well, quite suddenly, when I decided that it maybe wasn't something that I wanted to continue doing after the age of 19. So I went back to school because I'd missed a lot of school, and then went to university, to London School of Economics, studied economics because I wanted to work in a bank. I decided I wanted to be a trader. This was a while ago. And joined JP Morgan on their trading floor in London after being in New York for a while. So that was my sort of financial background. It was a great time to be in a bank. I was the only trader on the trading floor in London at that time. There must have been at least 250 of us, I think. It was a great experience. After that, I got married and had children, and I was a full-time mum for a while, which was also a wonderful experience. And I have two brilliant children and a brilliant husband who's listening. And then I started working in our family business in outerwear, like I mentioned before. But I'd always felt this need to sort of start something and do something that was truly mine. And I was looking for something and thinking about what it should be. And I decided that one of my sort of pet hates, despite being in the outerwear business, was the fact that I couldn't find a coat that fit in with my values and that was the right coat for me to wear, even though I had masses of samples and literally a whole wardrobe of coats. So I decided that would be a good thing to start. I did an EMBA at Cambridge at Judge Business School, which was a part-time MBA course, which is great, and you should look at it because if you haven't done one already, it's run through weekends, so you can actually hold a full-time job and do it at the same time, which is what I did. And that just gave me a bit more confidence to start up my own business. I'm often asked for my top tips for starting something later on in life, actually, after having done many other things. And one of the main ones, I think, so I've got 3 or 4 of them. The first one I'd like to talk about briefly is doing this MBA. I think it's important from a confidence point of view, even if you've had many careers and done lots of things, just to make sure that you've covered all the bits and that you know something about everything, in fact, everything that you might need for starting your own business. So whilst it's very important to surround yourself with the right people, I think it's important to have a little bit of understanding about everything. It does help. The next thing I would say is coming back to the people. So surround yourself with positive people, optimists, and because it's tough, things go wrong and stuff happens. So the more positivity around you and the more positive that you can continue being, the better. It's very difficult to start a business as a pessimist. I just think it's almost impossible. The other thing I would say is listen to everyone, whatever they are telling you, and from whichever angle they're coming at. Listen. It doesn't mean you have to take everything on board, but listen, because all kinds of ideas are sparked by listening to what people have to say. And you have to be very choosy. I think one should be choosy with what you take from it, and perhaps it can put you off, sometimes it can put you off. So I think it's important to balance what you're listening to with what you really believe in and take the best bits. And the last thing I'd like to say actually is, if you can start your own business and if you really want to, then go for it, because the most difficult part is actually doing it. It's a bit like when you make your first investment. It's actually doing it, making it real. That's hard. And once you've done it, and once you've started it, it goes from there. So I think having the right people around you, and obviously having the financial ability to safely start something. If you have all that in place, go for it, because it's a great experience.